Hey guys, here we are today. We are going to do lesson 1.8. We're skipping 1.7. We're going to do that one tomorrow in class, but we're going to do 1.8 today, scale drawings and maps. Remember, we need to be good for the sub and do what we're supposed to and be quiet. If we're good, life will be good on Thursday. If we're bad, we'll have a test on Thursday. So let's all be good for the sub. Right now we are on page 69 in our book, so if you want to follow along in your book, that's great. 8.1, a train and a car. Two cities are 243 miles apart. It takes a train 4 hours to travel between the two cities at a constant speed, and a car travels between the two cities at a constant speed of 65 miles per hour. Which is traveling faster, the car or the train? Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So, there's a formula that we can use for distance. Distance equals rate, or how fast you're going, times time. So here, let me get my pen. Ready to go? So, here we go. Distance equals rate times time. Rate is your speed. So we know the distance is 243. So for the first one, it says a train travels at 4 hours. It takes a train 4 hours to travel between the two cities at constant speed. So we're going to go 243 divided by 4 hours. So if I do that, 243 divided by 4 hours, that means the person is going 60.75 miles an hour. So we know the car is going 65 miles an hour. The train is going 60 miles an hour. So which one's going faster? The car is going faster. Okay? If you wanted to, you could go 243 divided by 65 miles an hour, and that will tell you how long the car took. The car took 3.7 hours. So the car is going faster because it takes less time. Or it's going faster. Okay? We good there? Moving on. Now we're going to look on driving on I-90. It says a driver is traveling at a constant speed on Interstate 90 outside of Chicago. If she traveled from point A to point B in 8 minutes, did she obey the speed limit of 55 miles per hour? So if we look down here, I have the map, okay? And I've already drawn the lines and have the distances. Now the one thing with these distances is these distances aren't miles. These distances are units. So this is 13.7 units, and this is 3.3 units. So she traveled down the freeway, and she had to follow the road, right? We'll get to the 16.2. This one right here is for number 2. So we're looking at 13.7, and we're looking at 3.3. So if we look up here at the scale, each one of those colored sections is a unit. So 2 miles is 4 units, or 1 mile is 2 units. So if I go 13.7 plus 3.3, I get 17 units. Well, I know that it takes 2 units for a mile, so I'm going to go 17 units divided by 2 per mile, and she traveled 8.5 miles in 8 minutes. Okay, so the speed limit is 55 miles per hour. So if I convert that into minutes, if I want to know how many miles we can go per minute, we just take 55 and we divide it by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So 55 miles an hour divided by 60 minutes. So 55 divided by 60 minutes. The speed limit is the speed limit is 0.91 miles per minute. 0.9, that's a 9. It's not very pretty, but that's a 9. 0.91 minutes, or miles per minute. Miles per minute. Okay? So she's going, or the speed limit is 0.91 miles per minute. Well, she goes 8.5 miles in 8 minutes. So I'm just going to figure out how many miles per minute that is. So if I go 8.5 divided by 8, so 8.5 divided by 8, she is going 1.06 miles per minute. So the speed limit is 0.91 miles per minute. She is going 1.6 miles per minute. So did she obey the speed limit? No, she sped. She went fast. So if I times it by 60, 1.06 miles times 60, she was going 63 miles an hour, almost 64 miles an hour. So she was speeding. Okay, so no, she didn't get there in time. So let's look at number 2. A traffic helicopter flew directly from point A to point B in 8 minutes. Did the helicopter travel faster or slower than the driver? So we know that the helicopter went 16.2 units because it tells me right there. So if I go 16.2 divided by 2 units per mile, looking at the scale again, the helicopter, the helicopter went 8.1 miles in 8 minutes. So there's that one. The driver went 8.5 miles in 8 minutes. So did the helicopter travel faster or slower? The helicopter actually traveled slower because it went 0.4 miles less in the same amount of time. Okay? So 1, she broke the law. She did not follow the speed limit. And 2, she was going faster. The helicopter was going slower. Okay, so we had to do a little converting there. Hopefully I didn't get too confused. So let's move on. Biking through Kansas. A cyclist rides at a constant speed of 15 miles an hour. At this speed, how long would it take the cyclist to ride from Garden City to Dodge, Kansas? So 15 miles per hour, and we know the distance equals rate times time. So my distance, I need to use the scale. If you look down here in the corner, this is on page 71 in your book, a little bigger picture, but we have a scale down at the bottom. Now I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to measure it out for you. Okay? So using my ruler, let's see which one's going to work better. Centimeters. 1 centimeter is 4 miles. So if I take the number of centimeters, I'm just going to sort of measure it on a straight line. So I'm going to take my ruler because this road sort of zigs and zags. So I'm just going to do a straight line between Garden City. Whoa, that's not even straight. But I'm going to use a ruler, which hopefully is straight. Between Garden City and Dodge City, it's about 12 centimeters long. So I know that 1 centimeter equals 4 miles. Is it miles? Yeah, 4 miles. But I measured it out and I have 12 centimeters. Okay, so to get from 1 up to 12, I multiply by 12. So I'm just going to go 4 times 12. That's 48 miles. So these two cities are about 48 miles apart. Okay, so I know my speed is 15 miles an hour. I know my distance is 48. I need to figure out my time. So if you think back, this is just an equation that we did last year. 48 equals 15 times t. Remember, we want to get t by itself. So to get rid of the 15, to get rid of multiply, we do the opposite, which is divide. So we're just going to go 48 divided by 15. So pulling out my calculator, 48 divided by 15, I get 3.2 hours. So how long did it take them? 3.2 hours. Okay, and that's it. That's the lesson for today. Pretty short. So let's look at the summary. Maps with scales are useful for making calculations involving speed, time, and distance. Here's a map of Alabama. Suppose it takes a car an hour and 30 minutes to travel at a constant speed from Birmingham to Montgomery. How fast is the car travel? To make an estimate, we need to know about how far it is from Birmingham to Montgomery. The scale of the map represents 20 miles, so we estimate the distance between these two cities is about 90 miles. So they take this scale down here, and they measure it out, and they figure it's about 90 miles, okay? 4.5 centimeters. So, since 90 miles is an hour and a half, they make a little table here. The same speed is 180 miles in 3 hours. They just multiplied by 2. And then to get from 3 hours down to 1, they just divided or multiplied by 1/3. I would just divide by 3 because that way I'm not using fractions. So it's going 60 miles in 1 hour, so it's going 60 miles per hour. Suppose a car is traveling at a constant speed of 60 miles an hour from Montgomery to Centerville. How long will it take the car to make the trip? Using the scale, we can estimate that it's about 70 miles. So 60 miles per hour is the same as 1 mile per minute. So it'll take the car about 70 minutes or 1 hour and 10 minutes to make the trip. Okay? So let's look at the problems. Number 1 on page 73. So here's a map that shows parts of Texas and Oklahoma. How far is it from Amarillo to Oklahoma City? So once again, I'm going to use the little scale here. Okay? And it is about 1 centimeter for 30 miles or 2 centimeters for 60 miles. So I'm going to go 1 centimeter equals 30 miles. And I'm going to measure it between Oklahoma City and Amarillo. It's about 9 centimeters. So to get from 1 up to 9, we multiply by 9, right? 1 times 9 is 9. So if we go 30 times 9, we're going to get 270 miles. So it's about 270 miles from Amarillo up to Oklahoma City. Okay? So here's question number 1 that's going to be in Canvas. Driving at a constant speed of 70 miles per hour, how will it be possible to make this trip in 3 hours? Well, we know distance equals rate times time. My rate, or my speed, is 70 miles an hour. And my time is 3 hours. So 70 times 3 is 210 miles. But I know the distance is 270 miles. So are they going to be able to make the trip? Yes or no? All right, question number 2. A local park is in the shape of a square. A map of the local park is made with a scale 1 inch to 200 feet. So, letter A. If the park is shown as a square on a map and each side of which is 1 foot long, how long is each side of the square of the park? So they have this map, it's a square. Each side is 1 foot. Well, we got to think, how many inches does it take to make 1 foot? It takes 12 inches. So the park is 12 by 12 by 12 by 12. So we know that 1 inch equals 200 feet. We need to know how many 12 inches are. So to get from 1 up to 12, we multiply by 12. So 200 times 12 is 200 times 12 equals 2,400 feet. Okay? If the straight path in the park is 900 feet long, how long would the path be on the map? So I have this path in the park. In the real life, it's 900 feet. Okay? Let me change colors here. Let's go back. Let's change colors. Let's make it red. So we have the path here, 900 feet. So now we're going backwards. We know how much it is in real life. We need to know how much it is on this map. So we're going to divide by 12. So if we go 900 divided by 12, we should get 4.5 inches. Okay? Well, there you have it. Hopefully this made sense to you. I will be back tomorrow to answer any questions you have. Remember, once you finish with submitting this in Canvas, you are free That means you probably have somewhere around a half an hour left. Please be good for the sub. You just need to be quiet. Remember, if the sub tells you to do something, just do it. Don't argue with them. And we'll see you tomorrow.